Oren stood at the edge of the crystalline bridge, its surface glimmering like frozen lightning beneath his boots. He had seen alien architecture before, but nothing like the throne world of the Thalana. It was alive, not metaphorically, literally breathing, pulsing with low vibrations, its towers of glass flesh bending gently with the planetary wind. He wasn't a soldier. He wore no armor, no metal, just a tunic of soft diplomatic blue, the emblem of Earth's linguistic cores, stitched near his collarbone. His escort silent, silver-eyed warriors watched him with unreadable expressions. As the bridge extended into a yawning chamber filled with vertical light, at the center stood a throne, grown from the floor itself. It twisted upward in fractal patterns, shimmering, like petrified smoke. On the throne sat a woman, a being so poised she seemed carved from night itself. Skin deep violet, hair like spun silver. Her eyes were stars. Queen Sael, ruler of the Thalana, breaker of 5 warfronts, singer of the void. And Oren had come to plead with her. But first, he had to bow. The instructions were clear. The Thalana did not recognize spoken negotiation until the supplicant offered reverence. Only then could one speak. Earth's military had refused this insult. But Oren wasn't military. He inhaled, lowered himself to one knee, pressed his palm. To the strange, warm floor. A silence fell that didn't feel empty, it felt loaded. He dared to lift his head. Sael had risen. She stepped from her throne like a ripple across space itself. You bow, not as a warrior, but as something else, she said. Her voice wasn't transmitted, it was heard directly. Inside his mind, musical, but layered with something ancient, curiosity, contempt. It was impossible to tell. I come as a translator, Oren said, rising slowly. A listener. Her gaze bored into him. Listening is a form of power among your people, and silence is one of yours. She smiled, not a soft smile, a dangerous one. You speak as if you understand Thalana. I've studied your glyphs, he said, showing the shimmer pad strapped to his wrist. Your music, your history. I think we used to be more alike then. Our generals admit. She stepped closer. The chamber darkened. The throne dimmed. The world seemed to fold inward until it was only her and him. There's a law among my kind, she said, one that binds us older than conquest. I know, he whispered. If I speak the wrong word, I die. No, she said, and reached out. If you speak the right one, you stay. Her hand touched his chest. Oren staggered back as a warmth pulsed through him, more memory than feeling. The language chamber beneath the throne reawakened. Images flooded his mind. The fall of cities. Yes, but also shared dreams. Symbols carved into bone. To figures beneath twin suns, one human. One Thalana touching foreheads. A memory neither of them had lived. He gasped. What is this? She stepped back, studying him with a strange softness. A genetic relic, Sael said. A connection buried by time. Until now. Oren looked down at his hands. They trembled. You saw it too. I did. She turned away, walked to a wide window that revealed the storm belts coiling through the atmosphere. We did not begin this war, she said. Your people struck first, at outposts we built for research, not defense. They said it was preemptive. Lies, she said, but lies we built blood upon. Now the roots are tangled. He walked to her side, careful not to stand too close. And what happens now? He asked. Now that we've touched, whatever this is. Her eyes didn't meet his. I've spent 30 years carving empires from stardust. I've made galaxies kneel. But this, she looked at him finally. I dreamed of your face before I ever saw it. His breath caught. Me too, he said. I didn't think it meant anything. It means everything. A pause, 1,000 unspoken questions in it. Will you return to Earth? She asked. Not if you ask me to stay. Her gaze softened. Lips parting, but a loud vibration echoed through the palace, a low chime. Urgent. They know, she whispered. The council. They felt the pulse. Then let's run, Oren said without thinking. Her laugh was low and sad. I don't run. He stepped forward, took her hand. Then let's walk. Together. Her fingers tightened around his. And beneath the throne carved from starlight, to old souls reborn and enemies took their first step toward a future neither side was ready for. Beneath the twin moons, She chose Miraid wasn't supposed to survive the crash. The shuttle had burned through the upper atmosphere like a dying comet, spiraling toward the verdant jungles of Thalana Prime. He remembered fire. He remembered the screams of his squad. He remembered the final impact that split the hull like paper dot. And then he remembered her. When he awoke, everything hurt. Lungs filled with smoke. Armor cracked. Blood in his mouth. But she was there. At first, he thought she was a hallucination, a ghost woven from pain and forest mist. Tall, pale lavender skin, eyes of burning citrine, hair braided with small bones and feathers. She didn't speak. Not then. She simply placed a hand on his chest and exhaled. Reed blacked out. He woke again later beneath a canopy of woven leaves, inside a strange cocoon-like shelter. His wounds were cleaned, bound with alien silk. Strange bioluminescent moss grew in jars beside his bed, casting a soft teal glow over the chamber. She sat beside him, studying him like a problem or a puzzle. "You're not Thalana," he croaked. "Neither are you." She replied softly, "Not truly." Her accent was precise, old, like she had learned human language from recordings centuries out of date. "Why did you save me?" She hesitated. "Because you were falling. I was also your enemy." "Yes, but not then." He tried to sit up, but pain lanced through his ribs. She caught his shoulder and pressed him gently back. "Don't," she whispered. "Your bones haven't finished healing." "How long have I been here?" "For rotations. The moons have shifted once." "What's your name?" She was silent for a long time. "They called me Senya." Before what?" "Before the council exiled me. Before I walked the between lands alone. Before I forgot how to belong." He stared at her. "You're an outcast." "No," she said. "I am free." He believed her. In the days that followed, Senya taught him the forest, the creatures that nested in the hollowed trunks, the moss that lit up when sung to, the berries that numbed pain but triggered memory. Her world was alive in ways Reed had never imagined. He was a soldier, born and trained. Duty was a reflex. But here, under the twin moons, time moved differently. Slower, fuller. And so did he. When she bathed in the mineral pools, she didn't hide. When he limped beside her through the whispering groves, she let their hands touch. He began to laugh again. "Something raw, real. You're healing," she said one night as they lay on a bed of layered petals, looking up at the bioluminescent canopy. "I don't just mean your bones." "Neither do I," he said. The silence between them shimmered like water. "This can't last," she said eventually. "They will come. They always do. Then let them." "You don't understand, Reed. The war doesn't stop. Here, this is just a breath between battles. Then let this breath be ours." She rolled onto her side, touched his face. He leaned into her palm. "We were supposed to kill each other," she said. "Maybe we still will, would you?" "Not anymore." She kissed him. It wasn't urgent. It wasn't desperate. It was the kind of kiss that says, "I see you, even if the world doesn't." They made a home in the ruins of the old arboretum. Vines and roots had swallowed the ancient architecture, but beneath the overgrowth, the technology still pulsed, a memory of a civilization that had never wanted war. Reed found pieces of human tech embedded in the soil. A crashed beacon, still blinking faintly. A broken helmet with the mark of his battalion. "This is proof," he said, "that the war came here to them, not the other way around." "You should leave," Senya said. "Take this information. Go back to your people. Maybe it can stop the next fire." "And leave you?" "You were never meant to stay." He gripped her wrist. "But I want to." "Wanting isn't enough, Reed. Not when the stars burn with orders we didn't choose." "Then let's rewrite them, together." The choice was stolen from them. One morning, the sky split open. Dropships descended, loud and metallic. Reed recognized the markings. Earth's insignia. "Search and recover." They tracked the beacon. He said. Senya stood at the edge of the grove, back straight, eyes hard. "If they see me, they will kill me." "No," he said, moving to shield her. "Not while I breathe." But the soldiers came fast. "Private Reed," a voice barked. "Stand down, step away from the hostile." "She's not a hostile. She saved me." "That is not your call, soldier." He raised his arms. "You'll have to shoot." "Me too." Weapons clicked. Safety switches disengaged. And then Senya stepped forward. "No," she said, lifting her chin. "You won't die for me. Senya, don't." She pressed something into his palm. "A stone, etched with glyphs. Warm. This is proof," she said, "of what we were, before, of what we could be." Then she vanished. One moment she was there, the next, nothing but wind. Reed returned to Earth, but he never truly came back. He told his superiors what had happened. They filed the report away, unauthorized. Fraternization with an enemy species, they said. Delirium, trauma, forest hallucinations. But the stone never stopped glowing. And when he closed his eyes, he saw her. Beneath the twin moons, choosing him. Over and over again. Thalana had never seen a planet so blue. Water stretched endlessly in every direction, broken only by shattered islets of dark stone and glowing coral. The crash had split his transport shuttle in two, sinking half into the ocean and leaving him stranded on a floating slab of obsidian just large enough to shelter under. His breathing was ragged. The mask barely filtered the atmosphere, and the tracking beacon dead. "Of course it is," he muttered, pulling himself to sit upright. His arm was broken. Again, he was an exile. Not by law, but by choice. The council had offered him a seat after his family's disgrace, a meaningless gesture. He left instead, trading rank and ritual for the cold silence of deep space shipping routes. This route, however, had not gone as planned. "Help," he said aloud to the wind. It did not answer. Juno wasn't expecting a survivor. Her scavenger ship had picked up the crash trail 3 hours ago, trailing smoke and electromagnetic distortions. Most wrecks like this were either stripped already or far too dangerous to approach. But something had pulled her here, a pattern in the debris, a strange, spiraling flare signature that reminded her of a dream she couldn't quite remember. And then she saw him, curled beside a makeshift shelter, his dark green skin marred by bruises, one arm tucked awkwardly against his chest. "You're lucky I like lost things," she muttered, leaping from her skiff. He stirred as her boots thudded near him. "Human," he rasped. "Technically, yes," Juno said, kneeling beside him. "You don't look like a soldier." "I'm not anymore. Good. I don't rescue people who shoot me." She slung his arm over her shoulder. He groaned. "I liked it better when you were hallucination," he said. "I get that a lot." They holed up in her ship, the Soul Drift, which had more patches than hull at this point. Still, it flew, and more importantly, it floated. She set his bone, gave him painkillers, and handed him a cup of algae brewed tea. "Name?" "Thalana." "Juno, you're not standard Rexian issue, are you?" "What gave me away? The bleeding or the sarcasm?" "The earrings," she said, pointing. "Only Thalana born were those." "So what were you doing on a military ship in contested waters, avoiding my past, and apparently my future? Well, welcome to the present. Population, you, me, and an angry fish that keeps biting my engine cables." He laughed, then winced. "Hurts to laugh, hurts to live," Juno replied, sipping from her own cup. "But here we are." Days passed, then a week. Thalana began to move again, slowly. They spent mornings repairing the outer hull, afternoons scavenging broken wreckage from nearby shoals. Juno told him stories about her life, a runaway mechanic from Europa who never looked back. Thalana spoke less, but what he said mattered. "They taught us loyalty," he said once, "but not what to do with regret." "They taught me how to build engines," Juno said, "but not how to let people in. You let me in. You were bleeding, still." She didn't answer. One night, the twin moons rose full above the ocean. Thalana stood at the observation port, arms folded. "I remember this sky," he said, "from dreams, from stories my mother told me when I was young, back when we still whispered. The old names." Juno came to stand beside him. "You think we knew each other in another life, maybe. Or maybe this one's just trying to make up for what the others lost." She reached out. Her fingers brushed his. "You can stay," she said, "when we leave. This doesn't have to end. No crown, no chains, just us." The message came the next morning. "This is Earth Alliance Patrol. Respond immediately. We have your signature on record. Prepare for inspection." Juno muted the transmission. They'll arrest you. She said, and you, for helping me. I don't care, I do. He stood, pulled on the coat she'd sewn for him. The sky was bright outside. The water, calm. Then we run, she said. We can't outrun fleets. We can outrun today. He turned to her, and tomorrow we'll build it, she said, together. He kissed her then, not for the first time, not for the last dot outside. The patrol ships closed in, but inside the soul drift, hope burned brighter than the stars. Casa had worn the same armor for 8 years. It was more than protection. It was memory. Every burn mark, every carbon scar, each dent over her ribs told a story her voice had long forgotten. How to share. Her unit called her Ghostburn because no one remembered who she was before the war. And Casa liked it that way. She never took the armor off, not even to sleep, not even after the blood dried. Until she met RIL. RIL wasn't a warrior. Not anymore. They called them a shard weaver now, someone who rebuilt what had been broken. They spoke to metal, coaxed power from fragments. Their skin was etched with silver-light tattoos that pulsed with energy whenever they touched ruined things. When the wreckage from orbit fell through the sky and shattered the old listening post, Casa was sent to recover any salvageable tech. Instead, she found real. They were half buried in crystalline sand. Their hands curled around a reactor shard that still burned with unstable potential. You should be dead, Casa muttered. RIL opened one eye. Not yet. Give me another minute. She dragged them back to her outpost, a crumbling tower overlooking a rust sea. She didn't mean to keep them, but Ril refused to die, and they wouldn't shut up either. You breathe like someone who never rests, Ril said once. Like the war is still inside you. It is. Maybe it's time to exhale. Casa didn't answer, but she started listening. RIL fixed things. Not just tech, not just relics, but the quiet cracks in Casa's routine. They rewired her radio, installed low-frequency harmonics that helped her sleep. They built a solar lens that lit her workbench better. And when she returned from patrol, they were always there. Waiting. She still wore the armor. She still didn't talk about her past. But her silences changed shape around RIL. One night, during an ion storm, the power failed. The tower plunged into darkness. RIL lit a small crystal, its soft glow turning the room into a dream. Do you ever take that off? They asked, nodding to her armor. No, not even when you sleep. Especially not when I sleep. Ril nodded slowly. May I touch it? Casa hesitated. No one had asked her that before. She nodded. RIL stepped forward, fingers grazing the metal across her forearm. This part, they whispered, used to be ceremonial armor from the first colonies. You've kept it alive, just barely. I keep everything alive, she said. Do you ever wish someone would do the same for you? Her voice caught. Ril's hand didn't move, just rested there, warm and steady. You don't have to take it off, they said. But if you ever wanna. Casa stepped closer. Help me. They undid the clasps in silence. Piece by piece, the armor fell away. Shoulder plate, chest guard, gauntlets, knee braces, boots. Beneath it, she was smaller, scarred, trembling. Ril touched her cheek. Beautiful, they said. She kissed them, not like a soldier, not like a weapon, like someone who wanted to be held. RIL held her until the storm passed. The next day, the call came. Central Command had found them. Reinforcements were coming. Casa would be redeployed. Ril didn't speak. They simply looked at her, saw the armor, now lying in a quiet pile near the bed. You can go, they said, but you don't have to. I've always had to. Until now. Casa stepped toward them. Will you stay if I go? No, Ril said. I'll walk beside you, even into war. Ril smiled sadly. Even into peace. She took their hand. And for the first time in 8 years, she walked into the sun without armor. Not because she was unafraid, but because she was finally ready to be seen. Bryn had never felt small in space until the silence fell. It came without warning. One moment, the observation deck aboard the Coalition diplomatic ship New Dawn buzzed with conversation. Low music, clinking glasses. The next, every comm relay cut off, every feed went black. Then came the ripple through the stars, like a breath being held across the galaxy. Is it an attack? Someone whispered. Bryn knew better. They'd felt something shift, not a weapon. Something older, deeper. And then she saw her. The alien delegate walked alone into the heart of the chamber. Every envoy, every guard, every voice froze. She wore no armor, only a flowing garment of iridescent threads, woven from starlight itself. Her eyes held twin galaxies. Her hands were bare. Bryn had read her profile, had been briefed. This was the last emissary of the Atsunari convergence, a species so ancient most believed them myth. Known for peace, feared for memory. We welcome you, Bryn said, stepping forward. You remember us? The woman replied, not me, but maybe my ancestors. Then your blood is honest. She smiled. Bryn forgot how to breathe. The delegation meetings lasted 7 days. Treaties spoken in poetry. Agreements sealed with song. But between each summit, the emissary Thalana would find Bryn. They walked through gardens spun from light, shared meals composed of color and scent. Bryn learned to listen without words. Thalana taught her how to feel the pauses between thoughts. You are always ready to leave, Thalana said once. I've never been allowed to stay. What would happen if you stopped running? The stars might fall, or they might sing. On the night of the closing ceremony, Thalana invited Bryn to the observation dome. The universe stretched around them, a blanket of constellations too vast to name. There was a war once, Thalana said, so vast, it tore reality. My people sang the stars back into alignment. You saved the galaxy. We healed what could be healed, and chose not to return. Until now. Why now? Because you called. Not with weapons, not with fleets, but with longing. Bryn turned to her. I don't know what I called for. I do. Thalana stepped closer, placed a hand over Bryn's heart. You called for me. Bryn kissed her. The stars fell silent, not in warning, in reverence. Later, after the treaty was signed, Thalana prepared to return to her people. This was always meant to be a moment, she said. But what if I want more than a moment? Then you must become more than who you were. Teach me. She took Bryn's hand. Then come. Not as a diplomat, not as a soldier, but as the one who remembered me. Bryn stepped aboard the Atsunari vessel, not because she was ready, but because some silences are meant to be shared, and some kisses rewrite the stars.